Death of the Doctor. What do I have to say about this episode? It has everything. Sarah Jane, the team, the Doctor, Joe Grant, the Grask, a cool monster, a good villain, unit, and a story written by Russell T Davies, creator of the show. I guess you could call it a sequel to The Wedding of Sarah Jane Smith, since it has continuity references, but for now, let's judge it on its own. Sarah Jane receives news that the Doctor, the Time Lord of Gallifrey, is declared dead. At the funeral, Sarah Jane Smith meets up with Joe Grant, an old companion of the Doctor, so the two join forces to discover the truth. As an interstellar conspiracy gathers around Unit HQ, Clyde finds he holds the fate of the Time Lord in his hand. Quite literally. This episode has Joe Grant return to the Doctor Who universe since her last appearance during John Pertwee's era, which, much like Sarah Jane's return in school reunion, it's nice to see how an old friend of the Doctor has been going. Much like the Brigadier's appearance, I knew who Joe Grant was, and at the time, the only episode I saw of her was The Three Doctors. I wasn't really a fan of Pertwee's era, but I did know who Joe Grant was. I love her in this episode. It's nice seeing that Katie Manning, much like Elizabeth Sladen, has still got it in her. She just makes me smile every time. In all honesty, I think I like her more in this episode than the classic series. Again, like Sarah Jane or any of the other past companions, she's been doing something good in the name of the Doctor. She's been travelling around the world, she's been doing protests, doing good in his name, like Sarah Jane, but smaller and more human-like. I think it's also nice of Sarah Jane and Joe working with each other. They don't go all rivalry like Rose Tyler or Martha Jones would probably do. They actually get along pretty nicely, and they don't mind talking about their travels together. Plus, Joe's grandson Santiago, he's fine. I guess he was originally meant to be written as Luke Smith, but for what he was, he's fine. Nothing much, but just fine. While I did like Sarah Jane with the Doctor, I didn't think there was actually a bond between them, like with David Tennant, which is understandable since Elizabeth Sladen has spent most of her time working with Tom Baker and David Tennant and John Pertwee more than Matt Smith. But I think the Doctor has a stronger relationship with Joe Grant. I immediately saw the look of long-lost friends. The Shansheeth is a brilliant designed creature in the show in general. Much like the design of the Jadoon or the cat nurses, they have a feature based on an animal's characteristics. And since they are vultures and funeral caretakers, it works really well. I would also like them to appear in Doctor Who. If not for an episode, maybe a cameo appearance. Oh yeah, and for those of you who don't know, that's David Bradley voicing the Shansheeth. The plan with a memory weave works pretty well for a sci-fi time travel show, which also leads to the climax, which in my opinion is some of the best moments in the show. Amazing. You remember in my review of The Enemy of the Bane in which I thought that maybe the Major could have been better if he was just a human unit soldier gone too far? This is what I was looking for. Almost. She believes that there is nothing on Earth for her anymore and wants to take the TARDIS to fly across the stars, and the Shansheeth can help her do that. Now, I have to be honest, I immediately knew that she was the bad guy from the very beginning. Since she gave away the news, she knew about the Shansheeth and the Doctor's supposed damage. It's pretty obvious. But other than that, she's still a pretty good villain. I guess the only nitpick I might have is, unfortunately I'm sorry to say, is the Doctor. Don't get me wrong, I like Matt Smith. In fact, he was my Doctor at the time, and he seems to have gotten well with the kids and the other characters. Plus, his quirkiness and fun attitude actually works in the show. But I didn't feel that much amazement the same way when David Tennant appeared in the show. Other than that, he was still fun to watch. Okay, why did they have to make the Grask blue? I wouldn't mind if they were just proper Grask. It's like making the Slytherin orange for some reason. I just don't know if that was intended or just lazy. Still, the Grask were fun, and I did like his dialogue and scenes with the gang. And for an episode called Death of the Doctor, yeah, even fans of Doctor Who would know this isn't the death of the Doctor, since we knew there was going to be another series coming. But since Series 6 was meant to be about the Doctor's death, I did get a sense of fear at the moment with the Doctor and Sarah and Joe in the TARDIS. Plus, the trailer for Part 1 did give it away a little. There are a few more nitpicks, mostly due to continuity, like what did they do with the rocket in the end, but I'll let them go for now. For me, the highlights of the episode are the montage scenes. There are several scenes with Sarah Jane and Joe Grant reminiscing their time with the Doctor in the classic series. I think if this episode would have served as the show's milestone, it would be extraordinary. Plus, that harp soothing music playing is just so relaxing. Very Danny Elfman-like. So there you go. Who doesn't love a good fun story for both classic, current and new fans of both shows? The characters are great as ever, the villains are cool, the effects are really impressive, and the music really shines. Clearly one of the best episodes, and I can watch this episode anytime. Be sure to pick up the TARDIS key and enjoy the ride.